Hey there, gang. How's it going? It's your good buddy Spence from Burn the City and Beacon House podcast. Please follow both of those. Here to talk about kind of a neat piece of gear that I acquired recently. Lately, we've been getting really into like lower tunings, and lower tunings are all the rage, especially with bands like Sleep Token. And there's just tons of great stuff. Particularly one that everybody's talking about is Drop A. Kind of the question is, how do you get these tunings? How do you achieve these? And it kind of all depends on what you've got. So depending on what you've got hanging around, you could always take the absolute manliest step into low tunings, like my man Tim Mason in Australia. You guys should follow him at Average Aussie Guitarist. I don't know why anybody doesn't follow Tim Mason. And Tim took a guitar, went out and literally bought a whole new set of strings, set the whole thing up to be in like drop A. He even blocked off the bridge because it was a floating bridge. He did the whole thing. And man, the effects were devastating. But for some of us that don't have an extra guitar laying around, or we don't know how to block off a bridge or all that kind of stuff, some people resort, and this is kind of how I initially went into it. Some people resort to just getting a good old seven string, like this guy right here, and dropping the low string from uh, B down to A, or in this case, from B flat to A flat, because so many of my guitars are tuned a half step down because rock. Anyway, and that has a pretty cool effect too. Here, check it out. But let's say you don't have a seven string around and you don't have any method to set up a guitar, put heavy strings on it, or you may not sure how to do that. Um, there's another route. I came across a cool piece of gear that helps with this a lot. Recently, I was checking out my man Ben Eller, our common uncle, Uncle Ben Eller. Everybody should follow him. I don't know why anybody doesn't follow Ben Eller. And he was playing some hair metal classics at a local club, and some of which require you to have a low, like a drop D. And I've noticed that he wasn't changing his tuning between the strings. And Ben said, "Yeah, I use one of these little guys right here to go to a lower tuning sometimes. It's called the Digitech Drop." And I said, "Wow, that's fascinating. You can just stand on it and you can actually set it to be momentary, meaning as soon as you step on it, it activates. When you let your foot off, it goes back to your regular tuning, or you can set it to hold and you can, adjust it to all these different tunings as many steps down as you want to go. Kind of has the same technology as the whammy pedal does. But there was a weird stigma around the whammy pedal back in the day because I'm not sure what the technology was inside of it. And I know a lot of people had great results and they sort of crafted their sound around the whammy pedal, like Tom Morello. And of course, the legendary Dimebag did spectacular things with the whammy pedal. But a lot of the guys I knew and myself personally, when trying to incorporate a whammy pedal into their pedal board, would notice tremendous signal loss. Like there was a lot of degradation to the signal. I think the whammy pedal just didn't used to have the converters that are available now, because in this pedal, all that signal loss and signal degradation is not present. This thing sounds fantastic, and I'm about to show you. So, cut to maybe a couple months later, and I'm watching the internet as one does, and I come across session guitar wizard Alice Chiara, and she's covering a Royal Blood song, and she's got the big octaves going, and it's just mind boggling. By the way, everybody should follow Alice Chiara. I don't know why anybody doesn't follow Alice Chiara. And it says in the description that the thing she used to get that effect was none other than this pedal again. So at that point, I was convinced. I tracked a used one down, and sure enough, all the fabled signal loss and all of the anything that might cause you to maybe stray away from the whammy pedal no longer present. The technology has gone way through the roof, and this is a killer pedal to get just your standard octave in unison. I'll show you. With that pedal, you could take your favorite old guitar, just like an old-fashioned Les Paul like this one, and replicate that dropped A tuning that I had with the seven string. Check it out. Killer, right? Yeah, I mean, and there's very little lag, if any at all. I mean, it's almost indistinguishable. The feel is great, and it's even great if you just want to go to the standard octaves. Like I was mentioning, Alice was just playing octave and the dry signal kind of blended together, and it'll do that just as well too. Check it out. Pretty rad, huh? Okay, please excuse the bad playing, but please go follow all these people. They're phenomenal, they're inspirational, and they're really, really cool. They have a lot of good content. And if you're in need of something to produce low tunings and you maybe have a guitar that you don't want to fiddle with, like the strings and then adjusting the neck or blocking it off or whatever, or you just don't have access to a seven string, or maybe you're not comfortable with a seven string. I'm still very, very clumsy on seven string. I'm trying to get better at it, but it's a process. But a really good option to get you there and so you could write music or perform music in those low tunings is this guy right here. So thanks for listening. Please follow Beacon House. Please follow Burn the City. I don't know why anybody doesn't follow Burn the City and Beacon House. Please be good to each other. See you guys on the ice.